Hi, seniors. We are going to begin our exploration of Leslie Marmon Silko's short autobiographical personal essay. It's called Yellow Woman and a Beauty of the Spirit. It was first published in Los Angeles Times Sunday magazine in December 29th, 1994. So we are going to be reading the first 3 paragraphs together. Hi, seniors. This is the first reading of Leslie Marmon Silko, her personal narrative, Yellow Woman and a Beauty of the Spirit. This was first published in the Los Angeles Times Sunday magazine, December 29th, 1994. So please remember to be annotating as we read together. From the time I was a small child, I was aware that I was different. I looked different from my playmates. My 2 sisters looked different too. We didn't look quite like the other Laguna Pueblo children, but we didn't look quite white either. In the 1880s, my great-grandfather had followed his older brother west from Ohio to the New Mexico Territory to survey the land for the U.S. government. The 2 Marmon brothers came to Laguna Pueblo Reservation because they had an Ohio cousin who already lived there. The Ohio cousin was involved in sending Indian children thousands of miles away from their families to the War Department's big Indian boarding school in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Both brothers married full-blood Laguna Pueblo women. My great-grandfather had first married my great-grandmother's older sister, but she died in childbirth and left 2 small children. My great-grandmother was 15 or 20 years younger than my great-grandfather. She had attended Carlisle Indian School and spoke and wrote English beautifully. So we're going to pause there for a second. We know that Leslie Marmon Silko is both white, Mexican, and Laguna Pueblo. We also hear this interesting idea here that her grandfather first married her great-grandmother's older sister, but she died in childbirth, so then he must have gone on to marry the woman's sister, who then became the great-grandmother of Leslie Marmon Silko. We also hear that she was 15 to 20 years younger than her husband. I called her Grandma Amu because that's what I heard her say whenever she saw me. Amu means granddaughter in the Laguna language. I remember this word because her love and her acceptance of me as a small child were so important. I had sensed immediately that something about my appearance was not acceptable to some people, white and Indian. But I did not see any signs of that strain or anxiety in the face of my beloved Grandma Amu. Younger people my parents' age, seemed to look at the world in a more modern way. The modern way included racism. My physical appearance seemed to matter to the old-time people, seemed not to matter to the old-time people. They looked at the world very differently. A person's appearance and possessions did not matter nearly as much as a person's behavior. For them, a person's value lies in how that person interacts with other people, how that person behaves toward the animals and the earth. That is what matters most to the old-time people. The Pueblo people believed this long before the Puritans arrived, with their notions of sin and damnation and racism. The old-time beliefs persist today. Thus, I will refer to the old-time people in the present tense as well as the past. Many worlds may exist here. I spent a great deal of time at my great-grandmother's. Her house was next to our house, and I used to wake up at dawn, hours before my parents or younger sisters, and I'd go wait on the porch swing or on the back steps by her kitchen door. She got up at dawn, but she was more than 80 years old, so she needed a little while to get dressed and to get the fire going in the cook stove. I had been carefully instructed by my parents not to bother her and to behave and to try to help her any way I could. I always loved the early mornings when the air was so cool with a hint of rain smell in the breeze. In the dry New Mexico air, the least hint of dampness smells sweet. My great-grandmother's yard was planted with lilac bushes and irises. There were 4 o'clocks, cosmos, morning glories, and hollyhocks, and old-fashioned rose bushes that I helped her water. If the garden hose got stuck on one of those big rocks that lined the path in the yard, I ran and pulled it free. And that's why I came to do early every morning, to help Grandma water the plants before the heat of the day arrived. So there she was talking about going to her grandmother's house. These are all types of flowers: lilacs, irises, 4 o'clocks, cosmos, morning glories, and hollyhocks, and rose bushes. Those are just different types of flowers that she would help her grandmother water. Okay, you can pause now and answer some questions related to those first 5 paragraphs, and then you are going to listen to the following 5 paragraphs. Thank you.